are about to get started, so I would just note, as always, there are plenty of seats in the front row. In fact, maybe the best thing we can do is have our speakers come up front, as well as perhaps our elected officials would join us in the second row. Good morning. I think we've got a bit of a hush, so I'll take advantage of that and fill the space. Ask everyone to either come on, take a seat under the canopy, or feel free to come a little closer as we'll get started. It's always a process in Palo Alto. Everything is a process, even starting a very important and wonderful event. All right, well, as folks are getting settled in, I'll just introduce myself. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ed Shikata. I have the pleasure of being the Palo Alto City Manager. I will be your MC this morning, and just really thrilled to be at this incredible event that has been a long time coming, and nonetheless is an endeavor that so many people have put their time and effort into, and we really look forward to the days, weeks, months, and years ahead with Project Homekey. Let's see, so let me just note a couple of things that we, thank you very much, keep talking, that this project and really this community is one that we will have roughly 200 unhoused community members supported annually with supported services, and really looking forward to having this be a part of the Palo Alto community. A project like this takes persistence, resilience, perseverance in many ways, and partners with a common vision, and we will hear from many of them today. I would like to thank DevCon in particular for making this event today happen, and really looking forward to see this equipment in action. Also want to make a special thank you to the City of Mountain View for the collaboration. And for those who are not aware, Mountain View is just beyond the curb line. Actually, might be on this side of the curb line on the street. So this is truly a neighbor-adjacent community between Mountain View and Palo Alto. And also in particular for Mountain View, helping really blaze a trail for us with Life Moves, with the Mountain View's Life Move development. Now, also, I have the honor of recognizing, acknowledging, and thanking the elected officials that are not speaking this morning. So let me lead off with our Palo Alto City Council members. I'm told we introduce the home team first. So we have Council Member Julie Lithcott-Hames, Council Member Pat Burt, Council Member Ed Lowing, Council Member Vicky Vinker, and not a council member but an honorary council member, Pastor Paul Baines. And also now for our neighbors and again trailblazers from the City of Mountain View, Councilmember Margaret Abe Koga. And let's see, did I miss any other elected officials that are not speaking? If so, someone will discreetly slip me a note so I can correct it a little later. And also, just to clarify, I was thanking them for being here, not thanking them for not speaking. So let there be no mistake about that. So now on with the speakers for this morning. Let's lead off with our mayor, Lydia Koo.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. I'm going to take this off for now, but thank you for everyone for being here, and it's such a pleasure that this is taking off. So this project, Homekey Palo Alto, advances the City Council's priorities of furthering community health and safety by bringing our homeless population indoors. Palo Alto has long been the leader in the production of affordable housing. Palo Alto had one of the largest per capita below market rate inventories in Santa Clara County. Much of this inventory was established many years ago, doing it intentionally to address a purpose. We have an affordability problem, a housing affordability problem. An unfettered building is not going to solve this problem, keeping in mind Bay Area real estate is expensive, especially due to global demand and real estate corporation investments. Since 2017, the city of Palo Alto has pledged or contributed 52 million from its affordable housing fund or land value in support of the construction of below market rate and workforce housing units. I want to thank my colleagues on the City Council and former council members Tom Du Bois and Eric Filsef for our and their commitment and support of this innovative project, which offers families and individuals a home and so much more. I still remember when I just joined council, this site I had actually proposed to have a safe parking lot for vehicle dwellers. And along the way, it transitioned to Gang Road, thanks to the partnership with Supervisor Simidian and the county, which gave us the opportunity for this interim housing here today. We do need to acknowledge, even at this moment of success, the crisis of homelessness must be confronted much more aggressively. California is home to nearly half of the nation's unsheltered homeless, even though we're just 12% of the nation's population. Projects like this are a welcome step, and we should celebrate them and thank everyone who helped make this happen. But we all know we're so far away from declaring victory in this battle against homelessness, because the current approach alone is just not enough. And we need many approaches, including projects that can be built rapidly and at lower costs. Our community supports creating a place to bring everyone indoors, and we support making sure once these places like this are available, everyone should come indoors. I want to close with thank yous to the state for its funding and its commitment to supporting the homeless community members, to the county for its funding and for its partnership with our city for its continued support for critical community health and safety needs, and also to Santa Clara County Housing Authority, who's been our expert advisors on housing construction for this project. And thank you to Life Moves for partnering with us to deliver this important project. I would be remiss if I did not thank our city staff members, especially Ms. Chantal Cotton Gaines and her team for their dedication guiding this project to this point and beyond. So thank you. Thank you to everyone. I look forward. I would also be remiss not to thank Mr. Sabrado for his contributions to ensuring that we can carry forth our project. Thank you. And so I look forward to celebrating the opening of this interim housing shelter to serve so many in need with both housing and support services. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Koo. Next up, I have the honor of introducing our County Supervisor, Joe Simidian. I would note, as the Mayor pointed out, not only a partner, but I think it's fair to say a driver of providing facilities and services for our members of our community who are experiencing homelessness. I will recall a conversation Supervisor Simidian and I had several months ago, where I was expressing to him some of the challenges and really the challenges in bringing this development to fruition, and really making my best attempt to manage expectations on the ability to deliver this coming forward. And I will always remember Supervisor Simidian's response, which was, "I look forward to seeing you at the groundbreaking." So always undaunted, Supervisor Simidian.
Well, Thank you, and good morning. I'm County Supervisor Joe Simidian, and we have two very important pieces of business before I can get to my remarks. Birthday congratulations to Megan Horrigan Taylor of the City of Palo Alto, and to Assemblymember Mark Berman. They are both Halloween babies, so let's give them the... And our gift to them is we will not sing happy birthday at this event, maybe later. I want to agree that today is undeniably a day for celebration and congratulations and thanks, but I think we should also be frank. And after the cameras are gone and the reporters have left, after all of our words of celebration, congratulations, and thanks, this will be hard. There will be more challenges, and there will always be more to do. Truth be told, we are at a place where I think we have to admit we can't do enough, and we can't do it fast enough, and these challenges will seem intractable as we do the work, and it frankly will be an intractable problem unless we act with urgency. So I want to, even as we celebrate, I want to say we have to do more, and we have to do it faster. That's why my colleague Supervisor Otto Lee and I proposed the $40 million challenge grant at the county level a couple years ago to help fund as many as 16 projects like this. But look how long it took. It's not a criticism, it's just real. Look how long it took. Too long, way too long. And this is only the second such project since we announced the challenge grant program 2 years ago. So, let's get going. All of us, and I mean all of us, city, county, state, and our partners, have to recommit ourselves to an even greater sense of urgency in tackling these problems. And let's be honest as well, this can't really be interim housing until and unless we have an adequate supply of affordable housing to accommodate the people who will find shelter here and the services to support them. And that will be even harder to come by. I can see I brought you all down, so let me try and bring you back up. In the meantime, I'm one of those who believes it is better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. And Homekey Palo Alto represents 88 candles. 88 units that, for all the folks who live here, will absolutely make the difference in their lives. It'll make a difference for the older resident whose only constant companion has perhaps been their dog. Now they'll have a safe place to play. It will absolutely make a difference for the individual who's simply down on their luck, just needs some help putting their resume together and navigating the Valley's job market. And it will absolutely make a difference in the spirit of today for the parent or parents whose kids finally have a place of their own, maybe for the first time, to sit down and count and compare all the candy they got trick-or-treating. These 88 units will make a difference for all of them and more. Each one shines a bit more light. And I'm so very, very pleased that the county has been able to be part of this effort, along with the city, the state, and all our many partners, including, I should say, the residents of Palo Alto, and by the way, the Palo Alto Community Fund, an early and strong supporter of the effort. Thank you to all of them for not just welcoming, but exhorting local leadership to deliver this project and make the life-changing difference we expect that it will. So I want to say thank you all very, very much one last time till the ribbon cutting, when I'll say thank you again. But right now I'd like to introduce both State Senator Josh Becker and State Assembly Member Mark Berman. Mark, where are you? I saw you, I thought, right there in front of me. bring them both up with a big round of applause and appreciation for their support. And while I'm sure there's no hierarchy here, and some would say the Senate is the upper house, and Assemblymember Berman would tell you that he's in the people's house, and what I would tell you is that most importantly, he's an alumni of the Palo Alto City Council, which gives him rank and privilege on today's celebration. Gentlemen, come on up. Good to see you both. Senator?
And the supervisors had the opportunity to serve in both houses, so I appreciate the introduction. I apologize. I'm sure there's a rule that I've read somewhere that you don't wear a tie on your birthday, so I'm a little more informal than normal. But I'm happy to be here today. Really excited to be here today as the Assembly member representing Palo Alto, but as the supervisor mentioned, also as a hometown boy and a former Palo Alto City Council member. And I feel like it's fitting that we're here for the groundbreaking of this transitional housing site on Halloween. Because one of the greatest tricks that we've played over the last few decades has been to create remarkable job growth in Silicon Valley, but not build the housing necessary to meet the increased demand that job growth has created. This has led to a housing and homelessness crisis throughout every community in California that is most heavily impacting our seniors, our working poor, our veterans, our essential workforce. And it will take all of us, as we've heard today, it will take all of us, every level of government, in partnership with the nonprofit and private and philanthropic sectors, to fix the crisis that we've created and support our friends and neighbors who are struggling with the astronomical cost of living in this region. So it's truly a treat to be here with all of you today for the groundbreaking of this desperately needed Homekey site in Palo Alto, which advances statewide priorities of providing both shelter and services to the unhoused. The legislature, and with my colleague Senator Becker, we've fought hard to ensure the availability of this funding in this year's budget and billions of dollars over the last few years to support Homekey sites in dozens of communities across the state. While we've had many great organizations, the funding was very competitive. And Senator Becker and I advocated strongly to ensure that this funding could be stretched to reach as many of the projects as possible, especially those projects in our districts. My understanding is that this is the first permanent shelter to be built in Palo Alto for decades, which just tells you about the demand and the need. I want to congratulate the City of Palo Alto on this important and desperately needed achievement, and thank Life Moves for the amazing work they're doing in so many communities in Silicon Valley. I've already had the chance to tour the Life Moves sites in Mountain View and in Redwood City. And when you tour these sites and you hear from the residents that are living in these homes, just the excitement, the appreciation, the gratitude is palpable. I mean, they are so excited. In fact, one of the things that I heard when I was touring the Redwood City site was that the challenge that they have is that residents don't want to leave. Because just having some permanent housing is so much better than sleeping in their car, sleeping on the streets, not knowing where they were going to be every night. So I can't wait to come back for the ribbon cutting when this project is finished, but just a huge congratulations to everybody on today's important achievement. Thanks.
Thank you. It's great to be here again. I'm State Senator Josh Becker. Wishing my colleague again a happy birthday. And the holidays are coming up. And the holidays we all remember as kids, it's really about getting gifts, right? Whether it's gifts around the tree or whether it's Hanukkah Harry. No, we didn't really Hanukkah Harry. But, the Hanukkah candles, we love getting gifts. But as we get older, we realize the fun is in giving gifts. And this project here, this is a gift. It's a gift from Sobrato Philanthropies and from Life Moves and from the City of Palo Alto and the county. It's a gift to these residents who are going to get a place with a locked door and a better chance in life. And it's a gift to the region and to all of us. When I was at the Mountain View groundbreaking 2 years ago, I think many of us were there with the governor, and a light went on inside of me, and I think inside of many of you, where I saw the potential for building things much faster, for embracing this concept of interim shelter, however long people want to stay here. And I know that's something that's an ongoing discussion point, but this notion of this interim shelter. And so since then, be able to support and go to the Life Moves project in Redwood City, which is phenomenal. Work with Dignity Moves, rolling out projects now across the state. We're seeing that there's a new model out there that we can build things much more quickly. And I know this has taken some time, but in general, we're building things much more quickly. And that's what it's going to take to end the unsheltered crisis. In Sacramento, every day when I walk back to where I live, and I stay up in a hotel up there, I pass people sleeping on the street. And all the stats show people are dying on our streets. They die much more quickly on the streets. They actually get addicted to drugs many times on the streets. And so we have to end unsheltered homelessness. And we've now seen that there's a model out there, and it's going to take everything, and it's going to take lots of permanent housing as well. But there's a model out there now that we can embrace to build things much more quickly. And I'm really proud to be part of that, proud to have worked with my colleagues and support the state contributing, because the state needs to come in with dollars as well for affordable housing projects that are ready to go in this area, as well as to embrace this kind of model. So proud to be here with all of you today, and excited about the groundbreaking and excited about the ribbon cutting in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Also note that another elected official, local elected official, has joined us, Councilmember Pat Showalter from Mountain View. And now turning back to the state, quite appropriate and appreciative of the state's representation here this morning. We also have with us a representative of the Office of Governor Gavin Newsom, Senior Advisor on Homelessness, Hafsa Kaka. Thank you, Hafsa.
You're talking ties. I wore stilettos today. Hello, everybody. My name is Hafsa Keika, and I am the Senior Advisor on Homelessness for Governor Gavin Newsom. I just want to say first and foremost that unfortunately the governor couldn't be here today, but I really wanted to acknowledge the incredible work happening in this community. I'm going to go ahead and use my iPhone here to say a few things about the state's investments, but before that, I do want to say how incredible is it to see all of the local communities, the electeds, the stakeholders coming together, the county, the city, philanthropy, the provider force. So I really want to emphasize the regional coordination that the governor's been talking about. I see it today, and it's exciting. So under Governor Newsom's leadership, the state has quickly moved from an investment of $500 million to an unprecedented $15.3 billion to tackle the challenge of housing and homelessness, giving local governments more dollars than ever before to address the crisis. Revolutionary programs like Homekey and Roomkey have become national models, and we mean that, national models. We've had several folks contact the state of California regarding how we are able to do the work that we do, and at a fraction of the usual cost. As we know, it is more expensive to keep people in the street than off the street. California has provided housing and shelter to more than 67,000 people from the beginning of the pandemic when Homekey first started, and over 55,000 housing units. This combined with legislation and the leadership on several key policies, inclusive of CARE Act as well, that helps with the most vulnerable, really helps support people get off the streets with the wraparound supportive services that we see. I also want to be able to say this month the state also announced an additional state $179.7 million in Homekey to 710 homes in 7 different communities. In addition to that, Clean California is a initiative that is that $114.5 million in grants to remove litter, beautify neighborhoods, and transform public spaces such as this. So we really want to just thank you all for utilizing the state funds and really initiating. I came from local government myself. We know it's not easy to get that buy-in, but I just really want to say thank you on behalf of the governor and the state in utilizing the funds and initiating and helping folks get off the street and into housing. Thank you.
I would never try to walk on this dirt with stilettos. Boy, that's it. Back to our program. And you did that quite gracefully. I would acknowledge that. Apparently our theme this morning is really about partnerships, and no more essential partner than Life Moves with the City of Palo Alto. So really my pleasure to introduce Life Moves CEO Aubrey Merriman.
Yeah, I was going to go with stilettos, but I decided against it. My ankles were swollen this morning. It was just a mess. Happy Halloween, everybody. Good morning. And it's fitting because Halloween is really about costumes and disguises. And so what you have here today is disguised as gravel. What it's going to be turned into when we unveil it is going to be a completely state-of-the-art interim supportive housing village, and it's going to transform lives. So today it's disguised as 1.5 acres of gravel, but in the future it's going to be a transformative structure that's going to really change the face and the nature of this community. I am Aubrey Merriman. I'm the CEO of Life Moves, and it's an honor to be here. Life Moves exists to end homelessness, and we can't do that alone. It takes public and private and service system partnerships to catalyze innovation, innovative projects like this one. And I also want to echo a lot of the thank yous and start with the gratitude. So I want to thank the state of California, Project Homekey. I want to thank the the County of Santa Clara, the Board of Supervisors, in particular Supervisor Simidian and Supervisor Lee, and I'll get back to that. I also want to thank the City of Palo Alto just for embracing this opportunity. I want to thank in particular former City of Palo Alto Mayor and now Council Member Pat Burt, who was early in this journey, who helped forge a path for us to keep moving forward. I want to thank current Mayor Lydia Koo for her enthusiasm and support in driving this over the finish line and embracing Life Moves and visiting our sites. I also want to thank the entire City Council and the city staff, Ed, Chantel, and team that are just relentless in really doing this work, and you have to be able to move it to this point. I also want to thank our building partners, DevCon, VBC, volumetric building companies. And I want to thank our donor community and our investors. We have many people who stepped up to support this project, and I just want to name a few of them. The Palo Alto Community Fund, as was mentioned earlier, Ann and Joe Stockwell, Michelle and Ted Wang, the Valhalla Foundation, Carolyn and Preston Butcher, Vanessa Grady Family Fund, the Wilson Sonsini Goodrich and Rosetta Foundation, and a few other anonymous donors that have really supported this project here. So it would be remiss if I didn't thank them. So there's no better time, no better place than in the great city of Palo Alto as we move the city line over to accommodate this being the great city of Palo Alto, for everyone in this community to unite around building an amazing interim modular village that is going to create instant benefit for our unhoused friends and neighbors, but also for the larger community in Palo Alto. So this is why this first of its kind project here is so critical, because it's happening in Palo Alto. And I'm hoping that the fact that it's happening in Palo Alto is going to push other cities to redefine what they think is possible in their cities as well too. So I want to issue that challenge to other cities as well. If it can happen in Palo Alto, it should and can be happening in other cities throughout the Bay Area. And I challenge you to make that a reality. Synonymous with Silicon Valley, Palo Alto alone is the birthplace and has been the headquarters of many amazing technology companies. We've heard the stories of Hewlett-Packard, Google, Apple, Facebook, Tesla, and PayPal. So in a city where we sometimes talk about wealth and luxury and the cradle of Silicon Valley and innovation, we also want to talk about the fact that there are neighbors in our city who are currently experiencing homelessness and have been doing it recently and have been doing it chronically. And so it's that balance of the wealth and the technology, juxtaposed against people that are going to be looking for a place to call home tonight, and their next meal is where we find ourselves. And this partnership at all levels of government, with our donors, with our construction partners, all of us focused on the same goal, doing our part to end homelessness. This is that groundbreaking moment. And we need more of these moments to happen throughout the Bay Area. I'm honored to represent Life Moves, but I'm also here representing all the amazing people that do amazing work, current and former staff members. So if you're part of the Life Moves staff, please raise your hand so you can be recognized and acknowledged. They do the work every day. I get the privilege of coming up here and talking about it. Life Moves board members, current and past. I know we have some board members here today. Carrie, Lauren, if you're here. We have Pastor Paul, who is his side job apparently is on the city council at Palo Alto. Ajaran, I believe, is here. And Joe Stockwell. Is Joe Stockwell? Joe Stockwell is back there. He is the, and that's the only time you see Joe in the back. He's usually in the front, leading the charge. Past board chair for Life Moves, and really has been sort of the catalytic converter to making sure that we keep moving things forward. And so I'm proud to represent them for the impactful work that they do. And we love coming to groundbreakings, right? Everybody loves to come and envision a future that we all want to see. And it takes Life Moves one step closer to our vision of a thriving community where every neighbor has a home. And Life Moves will help our friends and neighbors who will call this place home temporarily a pathway to more permanent housing and stability in their life. Our neighbors will have access to individually tailored supports and services to address their different needs, their wants, and their goals. And we know fundamentally that everybody has skills and abilities and gifts that they can use to advance their life. So our job as an organization is to collaborate to help discover and amplify those skills and abilities so that people can migrate and move on to more permanent housing and more stability. We help them build a plan. We secure the resources they need so they can permanently exit interim supportive housing. This will happen on these grounds. What will be built here will be the stepping stone to their forever homes. That's what's going to be happening here. So we arrived at the groundbreaking moment because of the collective effort and collaboration. A lot of people, let's be honest, didn't think we'd make it to this point, right? They didn't think we would be here, but we are here. And we're here because of the collective work and the commitment from all levels of government that saw the sense of urgency, that understood that failure is not an option given the crisis that we're in. So that's why we're here. We want to celebrate this moment, but realize it's a moment in time, and what's really going to change and transform lives is when we cut the ribbon and we move in our first clients that will call this place home for as long as they need to call it home. And I mentioned earlier Supervisor Simidian and Supervisor Lee as I conclude my remarks here. 2 years ago, I believe, I issued a challenge to Silicon Valley. And I said, we can do more, we can be more, and we can create more. And we know that we need more permanent supportive housing and affordable housing as the ultimate landing place for the people that we serve. But we also, at the same time, needed to move people off the streets quickly, effectively, and with dignity. I've yet to hear of somebody who is experiencing homelessness saying, you know what, in the course of being unhoused, I've actually gotten healthier, right? And so we knew that we needed to bring people indoors quickly. And Supervisor Simidian, along with Supervisor Lee, stepped up to that challenge, and they issued the challenge grant. And the challenge grant has been able and will continue to be able to support projects like these. And so I thank you, Supervisor Simidian, for heeding to the challenge and stepping up and doing something that was actionable. And so I can't thank you enough. A huge thank you to John and Sue Sobrato. The Sobrato family's philanthropy is legendary. But John doesn't just write big checks. John leverages his network. He shares his expertise. and that's invaluable. He challenges you to be innovative, to be effective, and to be efficient. He approaches this work with the required sense of urgency that really pushes you to be able to do things in the right pace and the right way. Let's face it, there's a lot of competing demands for his time, his attention, and his money. And the fact that he leans into these projects the way he does says a lot more about him than it does about the size of his check. And so I just want to acknowledge John and Sue and the family for all of their support. So thank you for that. And again, this will be where we build the stepping stone to forever homes for the clients that will call this place their temporary home for as long as they need to be. So thank you so much. Life Moves is honored to be a partner in this journey, and we're honored to be here with you today, sharing in this moment. Thank you. Oh, okay. Okay, great. I thought you were transitioning. Well, I get the great honor of introducing, as a great segue, our next speaker. So I'd like to please join me in a round of applause for John Sobrato. It's never bad to be the warm-up act for John Sobrato.
Well, good morning, everyone. You know, I'm proud to have played a part in funding part of the cost differential between what the state of California's Homekey program funds, the city of Palo Alto's donation, and I'd like to pick up the gap. This is the third project that I've worked with Life Moves. We started in Redwood City. We have a project in San Jose, similarly, units there being built by VBC, and DevCon is the contractor. You know, I really believe in true public-private partnerships, whereby the city and state provides the land and the majority of the costs, and philanthropy covers the rest. You know, this development will provide dignified homes for some of our vulnerable neighbors, some of who have been living in nearby tents. They will have their own lockable unit, including private bathrooms and a state-of-the-art air conditioning system. There will be on-site case management services, providing substance abuse, job counseling, etc., to help the residents transition into permanent supportive housing. That type of supportive services just doesn't happen when you're living in a tent. I would also like to recognize a few folks here today that have been instrumental in this project. And if you'd please raise your hand, Joanne Price, you're here, I know. Joanne? Joanne was involved at the very beginning, instrumental with the early negotiations with the city of Palo Alto staff. Also with us today is Vaughn Buckley, the CEO of Volumetric Building Systems, that is building the modular units in their factory in Tracy. Are you, Vaughn? Please raise your hand. We also have a terrific contractor doing all the on-site work, DevCon Construction. Their project manager, Tony Taramino, is here. Tony, where are you? Also his associate, Sean. Those two guys have spent countless hours coordinating all the details between what has to happen on site and what has to happen in the factory. Believe me, it's been an ongoing issue, and fortunately we've come together and now we're ready to break ground. So let's all celebrate this groundbreaking today with the hope that other communities in the Bay Area will support similar interim housing projects so we can all end homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all of our speakers. I was actually just getting a little instructions on what happens next. So if nothing, let's treat this as a transition from the inspiration, and thank you so much for the inspirational words from all of our speakers, to the implementation, which is what we'll be seeing next. And then finally, I do want to acknowledge just the perspiration and all of the hard work that has gotten us to this point, and ultimately will make this development a reality, and the services that it promises also a reality. So to all of our community members, as well as you can see, a number of our team members, both with the city, with Life Moves, DevCon, and others who are here, just really want to thank each and every one of you for all of the work that you do. And so with that, I believe our first groundbreaking will be grabbing the shovels will be all of our speakers, and in fact, I think all of our elected officials will be in the first round with shovels and hard hats, I believe. And so, Megan, where are we going? The big pile? Right out here.
Pile.
All right. We'll follow instructions.
Sorry. Not the big pile, just this little pile right here. Yes. Shovels. There's enough for all the
Hats?
speakers and our elected officials.